Hey guys, as you all know, April is Sexual Abuse Awareness Month, and I am a domestic violence and sexual abuse advocate, and I am here to share with you some statistics and just a few things about sexual abuse. Teal is our color for sexual abuse. I have my teal bracelet. I did change my teal nails though. As you can see in the beginning of the video, I gave you a few statistics on sexual abuse and rape victims that we really need to learn and educate ourselves on because this is something that is happening nearly every day. Every 107 seconds, somebody is raped or assaulted. So this is something that we need to really, talk about. And it's on us to be able to change these statistics because even though they're numbers, they can always be changed. And they can't be changed if we don't do anything about it. So we have to actually release the silence and tell our stories. That's why I don't love what actually happened, but I love the video of Chanel Diane because she told her story of being raped and assaulted at her door in Maryland, which is in my hometown, nearly 5 minutes from my house. And, she could have shut down. She could have went into a depression. She could have, anything. She could have done anything else, but she decided to share her story. And that's why her story went viral because she had enough courage to tell everyone what happened to her and warn all the women out there that this does happen and you have to be aware of your surroundings. There's nothing that you can possibly do to not be raped or not be sexually assaulted. It's never your fault. Even if your skirt is short and your shorts are short, or people say, well, you look like you wanted it, there's no such thing as that. That is just complete blatant disrespect because nobody wants to be raped. Nobody wants to be assaulted. Nobody asked for that. And there's nothing you can possibly do as an invitation, oh, rape me. No, it doesn't work like that. I'm sorry. That's not okay. I don't care what you wear. I don't care what you look like. I don't care what you do for a living. It's never okay to be raped. And things like that just really, kind of gets under my skin because I can't believe people actually say things like this. And 68% of rapes aren't reported. My rape wasn't reported because when I was 16 years old and I was raped by an older guy, I just wanted to forget about it. I just told a few people, and I mean, nobody else knew about it until my book was released. And I couldn't gather myself to go to the cops. And my uncle is actually an HPD officer, and I couldn't even tell him. So it's hard for victims to speak out about their problem, especially when it right after it happens. So that's why I really solely respect and give all my praise to, well, not praise, but I really respect Chanel Diane for what she did because it takes a strong woman to be able to do that and tell your story, especially right after it happened. So, and if you haven't heard of that story, please Google it, look it up. Her videos on YouTube, and guys, please just be aware of the things that are going on. And when I was younger, I didn't really understand a lot. I didn't understand the world. I didn't understand why things happen until I was older, and I realized that God does things for a reason. And sometimes we don't agree with the things that He does, and sometimes we think they're bad. And oh, why me? Why did this happen to me? But you have to sit and really realize and think, why is He doing this? Why did He put you through this? Why did you do such and such? Like, yes, I was raped, but to this day, it's making me stronger and I'm able to tell my story and I'm able to reach out to other victims and survivors and let them know that it's okay. You can overcome. Don't let something that happened to you hinder your future because it happened to you for a reason and it's used in your purpose and your God given purpose. So, that's another thing. We have to realize that we can overcome tragedy and we can overcome these things. And a part of doing that is releasing our story. A part of stopping rape and sexual assault is to share and stand up for it and say, no, it's okay, and voice our opinions. I mean, social media is everything these days. Like, if Lemonade, y'all know I had to real quick. Just I'm not gonna stay on it long, but just real quick. If Lemonade can be on and popping and travel social media in 24 hours and everybody go crazy about it, then why can't Stop Sexual Abuse do that? And why can't Stop Domestic Violence do that? Why can't people use their social media for something like that, something awareness, and say stop this, or I don't agree with this, or no, this is not okay. It's not about, like, I understand it's your social media, you can do with it as you please, but in order to stop these things from happening, we have to actually say something about it and do something about it and stand up for it. Um, So, these are the things that we need to do in order to make this happen. And how are we going to make this happen? It's on us to stand together and say no to sexual abuse, no to domestic violence, no to all these other things that our young women and men are going through, because men are also sexually assaulted. It's not just women, men are too. And it's harder for them because they have pride, and they, just like women don't report it, men don't want to report it either, especially men, because people, they don't want to be judged, or, oh, you a man and you got sexually assaulted. Yeah, just like my dad was killed by a woman and he suffered domestic violence, men are victims too. So, it's okay for men and women to both share their story and to come out and speak on it, because that was my problem. I didn't want to do anything and I didn't want to tell anybody, but then I realized that I could help people by sharing my story. And since I've shared my story, more people have come to me and more women have come to me because they feel like I understand and I can help them, which I can. And they, just like Chanel Diane, she did the same thing. She had courage, and now people are sharing her story, and it's out there that, look, this happens. Be careful. We need to stop this, and we need to do this and this and this. This is the thing that we need, not just in April. We need this every day, every month of the year. We need to do these things. So, and just that was a little bit about awareness. And so, real quickly, I'm going to talk about the after effects of sexual assault, because I did a Periscope with 10 Lessons, 10K Survivors earlier in the month about sexual assault, and I didn't get to touch on too much of it. So, I want to touch on the after effects of sexual assault. Sexual assault is a very hard thing to deal with, it's not easy. Because you've been personally violated. Somebody has taken your innocence, your everything, your peace, your comfort. Like, they have been inside of your inner comfort zone. And once that boundary is crossed, it's hard for people to enter back into that comfort zone, even people that you want to. So it causes a problem in relationships and friendships, and even being out in the public. Sometimes I am paranoid about people that are close to me, or if somebody gets too close, I'm like, I might flinch or something like that. So, there are after effects to sexual assault. It never really goes away. It's something that you carry for the rest of your life. Little things, triggers that can happen, and you'll remember. I mean, we were talking about during the flood, we were talking about swimming, and I just instantly was triggered to my past when I was molested. The first day it happened, we went swimming. So it was like just that simple, floodwater, swimming. Those are the things that I'm just sitting here like thinking of these memories, and this first day that started 2 years of probably the worst time of my life. So it could be something so small that'll trigger, your effects, but you have to be able to contain them and use them for good, which is what I did. I didn't before. When I was a teenager, I pretty much wild out in every way possible. Those who have read my book Troubled, which is available on Amazon and Audible iBooks now also, and through the website troublethebook.com. Just thought I'd throw that in there real quick. So, as I stated in my book, I was wild. I was doing whatever, whenever, whoever, and they didn't. Nobody could stop me. Nobody could tell me anything. I just was bad and troubled, and I was hurt. That's what it comes down to. I was hurt. I had so much pain inside of me that it was unbearable. It was unbearable. At one point, I tried to kill myself. That didn't work. I was institutionalized. Like, there were so many things that were going on in my life at that time that I didn't know how to handle them. And then, when I was 16, oh, I was raped, which put the icing on the cake. That just kind of really messed my head up. And then I was graduating high school and going off to college after that. So, I went into college paranoid and nervous about college boys and what, because a lot of rapes are happen on college campuses. That's one of the most common places for rapes to happen, is on college campuses when people are drunk. And that's also another thing. Don't let anybody tell you that if you're drunk, then it's okay to be raped. No, it's not. Just because you're drunk doesn't mean anything. If she didn't physically give consent, then no means no. No means no. Point blank, period. So, I was nervous going onto this college campus with all these college boys. I didn't, I couldn't handle it because I was still suffering from my sexual assault. And my mom didn't know, and I didn't have anybody to really just talk to about it. So I was holding it in, thinking it was just going to go away, and it wasn't going away. It never went away. even after I wrote my book, a part of me did think I was gonna, you know, get over it, which I didn't get over it. It's kind of helped me release and it helps me cope with it. And I found this purpose and I started the trouble movement. So I've taken all of my pain and put it into this purpose, into this positiveness, which is what I'm almost positive that's what God wanted me to do. That is my purpose because even when I try not to, so I use, my tragedy and turn it into something positive, and that's what I want you guys to do. I want you to take your tragedy and your tribulations and your trials, and I want you to turn them into something positive. All my sexual assault victims and survivors out there, I want you to know that it is okay and you are going to overcome this. You are beautiful, you are handsome, you are better than this, you are godly. I'm sorry, you are God's child, and I want you to pray to Him and understand that He is going to give you the strength that you need. He is going to be there for you when nobody else is, and just pray and ask Him to give you strength. I also strongly recommend that you get therapy and seek professional help. I go to a therapist. If that's gonna make you go to know that I go to therapy too, then go, please. I really recommend it because I tried to find an excuse not to go to therapy. I was like, oh no, I don't have time. I gotta do the trouble movement. I'm trying to write my next book. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm going to school. And I was like, I just don't have it. I don't have the time for it. No, that didn't work. And I needed help. And I know I needed help. So I had to make time to help myself because I had to realize if I don't help myself and if I don't do the things that I'm telling people to do, I'm no good to anybody. If I'm tired and I'm hurt and I'm in pain, I can't help people like that. So I had to help myself and I had to go to therapy and I pray, and God has really strengthened me through it. And therapy has really helped me a lot. And it helps to share your story, whether you write it down, whether you tell it to a friend, a family member, tell it to me, or anonymously, however you do it, sing, dance, write. However, if you feel like you need to release it, then please release it. Don't hold it in because it's only going to hurt you from the inside out. It's going to start to hurt you internally. It's going to tear your heart apart. It's going to wreck your brain and tear your mind apart. And then it's going to start to show on the outside because there is only so long you can wear a mask. And I wore a mask for 10 years and finally had to take it off because I couldn't do it anymore. I wasn't myself. I was covered with a mask of smiles that were fake. It's not what I felt. And it wasn't true because inside I was in pain and I was hurting, but on the outside I was smiling. And I have like people tell me that knew me in college, they're like, but you always look so happy. And I'm like, I know because I had a mask and I was really good at hiding how I truly felt. So when people read my book, they're like, there's no way you were dealing with this. And I'm like, yeah, I was because that's how powerful it is. It will eat you up and there's only so long that you can cover it. So, once again, April is Sexual Abuse Awareness Month, but every month is Sexual Abuse Awareness Month for me. Every day is sexual abuse awareness for me, domestic violence awareness, everything, because these things are happening daily by the second. Every 107 seconds, someone is sexually assaulted. Every 20 seconds, someone is hit, whether it be a woman or a man. Someone is abused physically. Domestic violence every 20 seconds. These are things that are happening. That means as I've been doing this video, multiple people could have possibly been sexually assaulted or have probably been sexually assaulted throughout the world. 68% of these rapes are not reported. That's more than half, guys. More than half because people don't want to report it. And most of them are probably a friend or family member. I was molested by somebody who was close to my family for 2 years. So it's usually common to know your assailant. The person who raped me, I talked to them for like 2 months. So I knew this guy. I wasn't a stranger. So most of these people are living in your house or right around the corner from you. Or you can be sitting in a room with 100 people and at least 5 to 10 of those people have been sexually assaulted. You have to know these things. It's important. It might not sound important, but it really is because until you are aware of what's going on in the world, you can't do anything to stop it. And it's going to keep happening. And it could happen to you. It could happen to your mother. It could happen to your daughter. It could happen to your niece, your cousin, your sister. I hate to sound like that, but it's true because these are things that happen. And no matter what we do, they're going to happen. Like we can't avoid it because we can't avoid tragedy. We can't avoid God testing us. But what we can do is stand up for it, and we can try to put a stop to it by coming together and supporting awareness and standing strong and saying it's on us to put this to an end or to make these numbers go down. Like, seriously, this is ridiculous. Every 107 seconds, really? 107 seconds. Count to 107. That's how fast that happens. And I'm sorry. These are things that are going on, so we have to be aware. And I just want to thank everybody who supports the trouble movement and who reads my book and who just are my backbone. And just 10 blessings, 10,000 survivors, guys, is the domestic violence organization that I am a part of, and I love them. Please visit us at 10blessings.org. We are definitely fighting for domestic violence. We are fighting for domestic violence, and the trouble movement fights for domestic violence, sexual abuse, everything. Like, literally, we fight. I fight. I'm going to keep fighting because I'm a survivor. You're a survivor. She's a survivor. He's a survivor. We are all survivors, and it is on us to stand strong and say no, release the silence, stop the violence, and say no means no. We're putting an end to this. So, thank you guys for watching me today, and please be educated on sexual abuse awareness and many of the other things that are going on in this world. My name is Miranda, and I am a survivor.